Hey everyone, welcome to Jesse's Stories. Today I'm going to go over the top 10 signs of knowing you're in a cult or giving you a signal, hey, you're in a cult, and what to watch out for. This will be from my own personal experience. I originally wrote one, which you can find that Medium article down below. I wrote something kind of like this originally too, but this is a more updated version meant for YouTube and meant for my channel. I hope you guys stay for the entire time period of this episode, and thanks so much for being here. I'm glad you're here. Let's begin. So the first and very important one is there's an authoritarian leader. This can be in a one-on-one cult, so parent-child, parents love, well, I guess just a relationship between two people. And this authoritarian leader, whoever it is, there's always a leader, whether it's one-on-one or big group, online or not online. So keep that in mind. You can be online and be a cult. You can look at some of the research that's been done by Dr. Lalich. I'll leave her actual site below that you can go directly to, and her resources of her books she does have out currently on Amazon. And you can check out my books down below too. But as we continue, authoritarian figure can be very easy to like they can be funny, they can be charming, they can be male or female or well, I haven't seen non-binary, but male or female they can be, and they make you want to stay within the group. They have something you want as an authoritarian, but they first start with love bombing you. Love bombing is, oh, you're so great. Oh, yes, we feel that way too. We're on the same mission. We're on the same idea. We believe the same thing. Oh, you're great. Oh, you're beautiful. Oh, you're amazing. Oh, you make me so happy. Just some examples of love bombing from a authoritarian figure. We're going, oh, yeah, I believe that too. Oh, yes, of course. Oh, yeah. Just mainly agreeing, giving you compliments, non-stop compliments. They gaslight you too during this time. So switch between love bombing and gaslighting looks like, no, that's not true. You made that up in your head. Or no, you don't truly feel this way. You feel this way instead. Like you can see in both Amazon's version and the version I was in, which I'll leave the Netflix link below too, of Escaping Twin Flames on Netflix. So the example of Jeff pretty much telling other people how they feel. You can see that. I just highly recommend watching it yourself because I'm not going to name names. You'll see the names in there and the people in there that he is saying, no, you don't feel this way. And even in Amazon, they have it within the ad itself of, no, you don't actually feel this way. That's gaslighting. Oh, that's just something you need to change right now about yourself. Something you need to do. And it's your fault. Gaslighting, it's constantly your fault. It's not anyone else's, but your fault in gaslighting. That's an important thing to remember when it comes to cults. And this is still the first out of 10 of authoritarian leader, just some examples of what they do. So our second is no accountability. So if you call them out on what they're doing, whether that's like emotional abuse or gaslighting or love bombing, if that's called out, they go, no, and they gaslight you again in return. So no accountability. It's your fault no matter what. You can't have any experiences you've had. They do, in fact, come after you in a cult in one way or another, even in Nexium. I know Keith went cease and desist of some people that tried writing articles. I myself, who wrote an article, that's got a cease and desist for all three of my articles, which again, you can at least see one of the old ones below. The other two are updated, but that's in my Medium article, which I'll be moving over to Substack gradually, so you can see the behind the scenes of how I made it to Netflix, how I decided to start writing my memoir, which that is in progress still, but to continue, so no accountability. So no matter what, it's your fault. Whatever you're feeling, it's not valid, and it's your fault, and it's lies and things like that. That's no accountability in a cult. And they will twist the stories to meet their narrative at all times. So they could be 1 minute saying it's all your fault. Oh no, we actually love you guys so much and hope for the best for you for the future. Switching of narrative. The change of narrative plays into no accountability. It's another form of gaslighting, changing narrative, which we can go over. I'll go over actual examples eventually if you guys want to see that of me specifically the cult I was in, changing the narrative. I have some picture proof that I can use in a video and I'll happily do it. But this is just to educate you on what to look for within a cult. And they cultivate, number 3, a community. So they cultivate this feeling of acceptance, this feeling of being a part of something bigger than yourself. on a mission, on something great. Like the one I was in was love, and finding the person that is rare and meant for you in this lifetime, though is told otherwise in different forms. They have something you want, and within that is community. And you work together in a community setting, and they talk about community a lot, and they credit themselves for community. So the authoritarian, we're going to go back to one, but this is still number 3 in community and bringing community, is the authoritarian figure will make sure to use that within gaslighting too, of, oh, look at this community we brought to you. Look at this community we grew, instead of you getting credit too, because you're part of that community. And yet that sense of community acceptance, which we all crave somewhere within us, or else there wouldn't be so many online communities or cults. 2020 brought about a lot more cults online than ever before, whether it's on YouTube or where else, any social media. You can see they'll be advertising themselves. Cults can advertise themselves, but they bring that sense of community within those advertisements. So that's something every single human craves, is community, and they bring that. So I guess that's still number 3, so community. And within that community, they build kind of almost like their own little government. So their own little rules and regulations that can change. Like when I was in it, it changed according to who was leaving or who was shunned or who was kicked out. So rules and regulations always changed. Or if there was like negative media, rules and regulations changed for everyone that had to be followed. Or NDAs were brought out, signing NDAs were brought out. And you really have to follow those rules. It's very strict. So it's like going to a job, but you're not getting paid for it. You follow those rules and regulations, and then you instill those rules and regulations within the community itself. So within the hierarchies, that goes into 5 hierarchies. So hierarchies can be like, from the one, I can only use mainly the one I was in, because that's what I'm most familiar with, and I can go back to Nexium because they're so similar. So you'll see me continuously going back and forth between the two, between Nexium and the cult I was in, Twin Flames Universe. So going into there, the hierarchies start. So it's, you're in the online community, you're just in the group telling your story. That's first level. So that's just responding to other people's posts, you posting in the group. Maybe you join after buying one of their products, a group that talks every Sunday or Saturday, something like that. So dreams coming true or something attraction, there's that. So that's still first level. And then there's next level, which you start getting in leadership roles and volunteering for those leadership roles. And then after those leadership roles, if you want to, you can go for being a coach, an ascension coach. And at the time I was in, they only had ascension coach. Master ascension coach didn't come in until I was leaving in 2020. But you still had to watch all of their Twin Flame Ascension School classes and Life Purpose classes and own all their products to be a coach. So there's rules and regulations in becoming that. And then a fee for me at the time was only $99 per month to stay a coach. But I also had to stay up to date with all the products and buying them. And I had to have clients coming in and buying their products. So you have meetings to go to. I had coaching meetings. I had leadership meetings for like Meme Squad. I did a lot. Books to stores and like those leadership times of talking about e-courses. So Saturday, Sundays, sometimes weekdays. Then just our groups of being in those leadership positions and coaches. So always meeting and talking through whether it was Facebook or we actually text each other through WhatsApp app, prepping things, getting things ready. So working constantly, keeping you sidetracked. And that leads to isolation. So number 6, baby, isolation. So they keep you sidetracked from your everyday life. So going to hanging out with friends that aren't in the cult, or hanging out with family members that aren't in the cult, or just doing everyday activity of someone who is not within the cult itself, just existing as a human. And being known as a human, because within the cults, there will be some divine, not necessarily divine, but something great, something powerful, not only about the leaders, they can speak and do things you can't do, but you also have that ability because you're within there. You are getting to their enlightenment too. You're working your way up, but you're not ever going to reach where they are. That's where isolation comes from. So you isolate yourself and put all these hours in and work for free and work really, really hard to bring in money for them. Ultimately, there are a lot lot of cults that just bring in money for their leaders. And keep in mind that cults can be anywhere. They can be in politics, they can be in a school building, they can be, where else can they be? They can be anywhere, literally. And you just have to watch for the signs because sometimes they aren't fully noticeable. So I'm doing my best to give examples. Cults are everywhere, online, offline, everywhere. So they can literally be right in your bedroom when you least expect it because you just go on your computer or your phone, doesn't matter. And continuing with 6, so keeping the levels of work going. Oh, and I left out in the hierarchy after coaching, there's inner circle. Inner circle is pretty important. I might be jumping around a little bit on this, but that's how I think. So welcome to me, everyone. So going back to hierarchies, after coaching comes inner circle, which is consistent of 4 to 5 people, tends to be, at least in the one I was in. Sometimes it goes a little more to like 7 or 6. It all depends on the leaders and their level of trust to the individual and to how much they're giving to the leader of what the leader asks of them. So I was second to and on the cusp of the inner circle. I definitely talked plenty with those that were in the inner circle in my leadership positions. So hierarchy does play a very important role because it trickles down to the lowest of the hierarchies as you go up. And the constant work, so we're back to constant work. No, I guess we're to isolation. So I guess I was 7, isolation, having trouble keeping track of myself. Isolation. And I described what that was. That's you pretty much not interacting with anyone that's not within the group. You probably will interact with a lot of people that are within the group and they become like friends because you've lost them outside in the real world. Because in a cult, it's no longer the real world. It's the world they made it to be and made you believe that you were in. And 8 is a really important one. So if someone leaves the group, the hostility, the making fun of, like, there's a lot of bashing and making fun of from the leaders. And if you didn't join in, you could possibly be bashed or made fun of right on the spot. So just humiliation and hostility towards people that leave the group, coming up with lies and things that aren't true about that person that leaves, but you believe those lies because they make the story meet their narrative, which is the theme. I probably will do a video on changing the narrative in a cult. Oh, it's all or nothing. So like, you do this or you get punished in a cult, or ride or die. So you do anything and everything. You would die for the cult leaders, all or nothing kind of mentality. So us versus them. We'll use Sarah Berman because she was bashed and she was a third party for a while of just being outside of the cults. The second that Jeff started bashing her in his own YouTube video, that became a moment she got a little very small taste of what we all went through daily within the cult itself. So people that leave or say something bad, you get bashing from pretty much the cult leaders. So humiliation, shame, all of that. And now 10, well, I kind of went all over the place, but 10 would be that cult is your everything, that place that you're at, whether it's online or in a commune somewhere in the world, that cult, which cults don't meet the stereotypes you have in your head. Commune can literally just be a political building or a house or online, place you go online through Zoom conferencing or another source, Google conference. And there can be courses too that go with. That's part of the indoctrination process, how the authoritarian leader works. But 10, there's no freedom. You are not free. There is no free thought. There is no free anything. You're just doing everything the leader says and does. I hope this makes sense and that everyone can take something from this. And thanks so much for being here. Embrace your truth. Tell your story. Please like, subscribe down below, share the video, share any of the videos on my channel. Please help spread the word of not just cults, but stories. You see, I did a Pokemon battle. I'll be doing more Pokemon stuff, including just me opening some stuff. And you're going to see other categories pop up with interviews. And we're going to continue and finish the behind the scenes of Escaping Twin Flames. That's going to continue until I reach all the people that would like to be interviewed and part of the series. I don't know when that will be because I'm still doing reach outs. The more you bring and subscription, like, leave a comment, positive or negative, I don't care. Like, subscribe. You're helping the algorithm and you're helping more people view and see this channel, which is always, always so much appreciated. Again, thanks so much for being here. Like, subscribe, check out all the stuff in the description below of things I talked about, including my books. You can see my children's series. I have 2 different series. Super Gay, I'm working on the 2nd book right now, and my memoir, and a sapphic. So I have other things in the work right now. If you like my writing, there's more to come. Don't know how long it will take. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks for supporting. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Embrace your truth. Tell your story. Till next time. Peace.